The NBA was founded on 82 games, playing hard every night for the fans. Now we in a jiffy with the fans. Now we fighting with the fans for an all-star game about competing because the conversation has been this player empowerment stuff.
And the All-Star game used to mean something. To your point, Jordan.
Yes,
and the All-Star game used to mean something. It did.
Yes, this stuff has ruined the game and the integrity of basketball with this player empowerment crap.
I never want to lose the sight of something being meaningful because a iteration of the demographic doesn't think it's meaningful for a period in time. That's what I'm saying. I think that eventually it will swing back the other way. The pendulum always swings in human history. There are things that we used to value that we don't value anymore. For instance, like in society, we used to value being in communities a lot. We used to be very community oriented where we did everything together at all time. And then society moved to individuality and we have living in apartments and boxes and homes. We want to stay away from people. But eventually the pendulum is going to swing the other way. I think it's the same thing with the All-Star.
I agree, Swiper.
If you got that bid, dog, that meant everything. And it said you were one of the best players in the league. And you know how people care about it. Trae Young, he brings it up again too. Like Trae Young is like, I don't know, like he legit doesn't know what he has to do to make an All-Star game. And I guarantee you what, for Tyler Hero to have earned, for me, he earned an All-Star this year. He played his tail off this year, and he got the bid after 3 straight years of being on the trade market, and nobody wanted him. And he earned his way to a 25-5-5 year, and now he's an All-Star because of it. That's what I mean. I think, Mars, you're correct, but I think eventually it's going to swing the other way where it becomes meaningful again to that generation.
Again when it becomes
I believe, well, Mars, you wouldn't know if it becomes meaningful if you were to just throw it out the window.
We need to
my thing is,
you see by the effort that players put in the game, and I'm not gonna lie, and this is not gonna be hard to understand. If players vote, if fans vote for, let's insert a player who's a fringe all-star. Let's say Trae Young. Let's say they vote for Trae Young next year.
Sure.
He makes it, and he's going hard in the All-Star game. He's trying. He's acting like he wants to be there. Fans are going to want to vote Trae Young in the All-Star game more. And you know what? The other players who don't try typically are going to realize, oh, these guys who try in the All-Star game are getting voted in because the fans want to see a good game. The players who aren't trying, guess what? The fans are going to get tired of voting them in. Oh, this guy just walks up the court in the All-Star game. I don't want to see this. I'm going to vote for someone else. And if they care about being an All-Star, they're going to have to start trying in these games. That's what's going to happen. So if you want people to try in the All-Star game and you want people to take the All-Star game serious, maybe if the fans vote for who they want to see and those players recognize, if I'm trying hard in these All-Star games and I'm going hard, I'm playing defense, I'm competing, these fans want to see us compete. So they're going to keep voting for me in the All-Star game because I go out there and compete. As opposed to Nikola Jokic going out there, the game's not serious. As opposed to Luka Doncic going out there, I'm walking up the court, I don't care. Maybe I'm not going to vote for
Mars, but it's obvious already that we want to see the players compete.
More qualified than coaches.
That's crazy because it's already apparent. It's quite obvious that we want to see players compete. If players, it sounds like you're saying players don't think that we want to see them compete right now.
No, I'm saying right now the fans only have control of a small part of the All-Star game. To where the players who aren't going to compete know they're going to make it regardless. The media and the players are going to vote for Jokic. The media and the players are going to vote for Luka when he's available. So even if the fans decided to boycott Luka and Jokic, they would still make it regardless. There's no jeopardy.
The fans aren't going to boycott Luka and Jokic.
And Luka and Jokic.
I know what Mars is saying.
I get what he's saying too, but
Luka and Jokic are going to make it because they're Luka and Jokic. But like the fringe all-stars who really need to make it or who want to make it, they might only have 4 all-star games in their career. Not these guys who are going to rattle off 12, 13 because they're all-time greats. The guys who might only make 3 all-star games in their career is going to mean something more to them because they know they aren't walking into the all-star game. So if they do get voted in one year and they give more effort, that gives them a better chance of making it the next year. As opposed to, Luka, Jokic, LeBron, KD, they don't need to try because they're going to make it.
Hey, can I say something? Can I just say one thing?
Those fringe guys, if Tyler Hero goes in the all-star game this year and doesn't try, he just trolls the All-Star game like Jokic and Luka do. You think next year, if it was up to the fans, they would vote him in again?
No.
Well, exactly.
It depends how good
those players.
But you know what? But you know what? My thing is this.
It depends on how good he is.
They want to make it, who they want to be perennial all-stars, and aren't of the level of player of an MVP level player where it's a shoo-in for them, it's a guarantee just because of their popularity. They're gonna have to compete. And if you want to compete, you have to give them some jeopardy of like you might not make it next year if you don't.
Yeah, but I think part of the problem.
I hate to step in and interrupt this intense yap session that you're currently watching, but I just have to inform you on all the amazing, spectacular, fabulous, endless ways to play and win over at Prize Picks. Basketball fans, I know the season is just tipping off. Yes, I know this. But you know what that means? It means that you have an opportunity to pick your favorite players and their matchups that are the most thrilling, and you can win money from these. With Prize Picks, you can play daily NBA contests and test your hoop knowledge by choosing the player projections and every single stat line imaginable to make your Prize Picks and take home some nice hard-earned cash. Are you a rookie in the game? Don't even sweat it. I got the playbook for you right here. All you have to do is download Prize Picks, use promo code PANEL, and you will get $50 instantly when you play 5 here with Prize Picks. So what are you waiting for? Download Prize Picks, use promo code PANEL, and join me as we break down all of our amazing daily picks right here on the panel. Prize Picks. Run your game, control your game, win your game. It's easy, baby. It's easy.
But I think part of the problem is the conversation that we have, not just around the All-Star game, just around the business of basketball and the professionalism about basketball, period. Like, I agree with Chill was saying about Mars, your logic. It sounds good, but it's like it's going to let the house burn down. One bad thing has rippled off into a lot. Like, once we got this whole load management crap, then you started seeing a ripple effect of players missing games, consecutively missing games, whether because they got a sprained finger or a sprained shoulder. We see them iced out and dripped out on the sideline more than we see them in the game. And it's like this whole ripple effect. Now it turned into the All-Star game. Oh, we need our bodies to rest. It's like somebody brought it up, and now the whole community just ran with it now. Oh, and I need my body to rest. I'm not going to play in the All-Star game. It's like we are starting to take this business and the game for granted because you still going to get paid. Regardless of what you do, you still going to get paid for half your effort. Like Joel Embiid has a historical record of getting paid the most money sitting his ass on the bench. And don't nobody say nothing about it. Everybody is nice about it. Let's stop being nice about this shit. Bro, your ass don't play no games. Give me back my damn money. That's number one. Give me back my money.
Well, they did do that with the 65 game rule, though, to be fair.
But I don't even want to hear about this 65 game because now we got another conversation about let's shorten the quarters. Let's shorten the games of the season. Let's stay professional. The NBA was founded on 82 games, playing hard every night for the fans. Now we in a jiffy with the fans now. Now we fighting with the fans for an all-star game about competing because the conversation has been this player empowerment stuff.
The All-Star game used to mean something. To your point, Jordan.
Yes,
and the All-Star game used to mean something. It did.
Yes, this stuff has ruined the game and the integrity of basketball with this player empowerment crap. It has ruined it because the players got the power. Look what they doing.
Well, Jordan, this is what happens when you let the patients run the asylum. But
it's 100%.
What did the owners do?
But the thing about it, though, real quick, Pim, because I just want to keep it All-Star game real quick. I do believe that the All-Star game is for the fans, right? But that doesn't mean to me that the fans should be able to pick every player. Now, to Mars's point, I do believe that if the fans pick the player, for the most part, the top 10, 12 guys in the NBA will be on the court, right? But I always thought that the All-Star game was supposed to be the best 12 or 15 players on each conference, the best players playing against each other for the fans. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what the fans want to see. I thought the fans wanted to see the best players playing against each other in the best pickup game in the world. You know what I'm saying? That's what I thought because I thought fans liked good basketball, watching good competitive. Now it's just, it's going into Ron's point, to Chill's point. I think that was your point, Swiper. It will come back. It'll come back. I don't think we need to start talking about scrapping the All-Star game and let's not do this no more. I think, it's just ebbs and flows. It's a roller coaster. You gotta take your crookeds with your straights. I think it'll be okay.
I think we're watching it right now. Let's just look at some of the upcoming guys. All right, we could take Jokic and we could take Luka out. Obviously, they don't really care too much for the All-Star game. But when you start looking at guys like SGA, when you start looking at the Victor Wembanyama's, Chet Holmgrens, these are young competitive guys. Amin Thompson, once he gets to that level, he's a young competitive guy. I actually believe we have a good core of young guys that they're going to grow up and they're going to compete in the All-Star game, at least more than what we're watching now. I think we're on the horizon.
Anthony Edwards was a young competitive guy. Went to the All-Star game and said, "Yeah, I don't care." So like,
I don't think this populist
like it might just be
message is the
culture.
answer. I don't think burning the house down is the answer. I don't think giving the fans everything is the answer. I think the answer is incentivizing these guys. Now, obviously, how hard the game is going to be played.
Give them 10 more million, Pin?
I mean,
you already on the super duper max. I'm gonna give you the super duper ooper max.
No. But you don't actually have a great incentive right now to actually win these games. When you have a great incentive to win these games, like, I don't know, $50 million to charity for your charity of choice, something like that. If you could create some sort of incentive that is linked to team victories, like something to do with home court advantage or something, for the team that wins gets an advantage or something, some sort of regular season thing where you can sell yourself on, this game matters to my ultimate goal. I mean, at the end of the day, we want players to care about the right stuff. We want players to care about we want players to care about championships. We do. Every single time we see a player who doesn't care about championships, who only cares about money, we always complain. We see a player who complains, who really wants all-star, votes, but doesn't care about championships, we complain. So we need to create some sort of incentive for this to matter to the regular season.
Can you address this for me real quick? Because I think you would be good at this. Another thing that I feel like I've really noticed, though, like kind of being in the circle now a little bit, a lot of players, they feel like they are above a lot of stuff now, and I think a lot of it has to go to the money. Like I think there's so much money that's being thrown around now. I think just basic things that used to be normal, like all-star games, events. I even think interacting with fans and media in some traditional sense. There is a certain kind of air now that exists, and it's always been there. But I think because there's so much money, and I think even to your point, let's give you an additional $50 million for your charity to incentivize you to do something that honestly you should be thankful to do, which is playing an all-star game. Like, you have been blessed to be in the top 0.5% in the world. You're making money that people will never make. You're in the spotlight all the time. Bill Cosby said that I loved back in the 80s. He said when he was broke, nobody gave him anything. But ever since he got rich, everybody gives him everything. And that's where the players are. They get everything for free, and you're getting 40, 50, 60 mil a year. Like, Penn, do you think that some of this is players, they just truly feel that, like, one, it's the championship narrative, that's the only thing that matters. But when it comes to doing stuff like this, like, I really just don't have to do it. Like, there's nothing you can do to make me do it.
Because I'm almost like they're above it. It's almost like they're above the All-Star game.
Some players, not all.
Like this ain't like this ain't a big enough deal for me, which blows my mind. I'm sorry, Swiper, which absolutely blows my mind.
Well, there is some truth to this, and there's a lot of sociological studies that have been done that have proven that after a certain income bracket, your happiness doesn't actually move. So let's say, for instance, you change income brackets from $40,000 a year. Let's say you're working at Walmart or something, you're making $28,000 a year, and you move up to $80,000. Your happiness is going to change. But the next change is not going to come at 100,000. It's going to come at like 400,000. And the next change after that ain't going to come at 500, 600. It's going to come at like 2 million. But from 2
how
million,
how do y'all measure happiness in this?
Well, you would be self-reporting the happiness, and you'd be doing thousands and thousands of polls in terms of understanding how is your life really changing. But when you make 20 million versus 30 million, 30 million versus 80 million,
still live in the same neighborhood.
Bro, you still live in the same neighborhood. You might just be donating a larger part of your check to charity. You might have one or two extra baby mamas.
You got another Rolls Royce, Pen. That's all. You got an extra bedroom in your house and another Rolls Royce. That's all.
The happiness is based on the shit you can buy.
No. It's not. It's based on.
Is that what this is based on? Is this based on all the bullshit you can buy?
No, at this point, when you get to the level that some of these NBA superstars are, and the vast majority of players who make all-star games are max players, when you get to that level, the amount of money that it takes to actually feel a gain or a loss is so crazy. And the reason I say this is because I remember one time I was listening to a person who said, the worst thing that I did was become wealthy because now I have to lose so much to feel anything and I have to get so much to feel anything. When you have $80 million, what's a $30 parlay to you? What's an $80 bet? You need to bet like high roller. You need to bet something bigger. So everything comes back to a percentage. But what I'm trying to say is that at some point you get to a point where there's no more jumps left. there's no more jumps left. And there and that incentive and that hunger to actually go out there and prove,
especially if you know what's on the way already, Penn. It's the max. I'm getting it.
So I think that it's very important that players do realize this is a privilege. Of course, it can be taken away at any time. You can lose it. And it is important to realize that, it's important to preserve the integrity of why you're here. It's important to remember that and to be humble and realize that, hey, this is for the fans. The fans are creating all of this value for us to earn this money, for the owners to make this money. And you can't just shit on that. You can't just be missing games and acting like the regular season doesn't matter, because people are paying hard-earned money to do that. And that's all part of the NBA economics. The problem is you get signed to a $10 million deal when you're third, fourth overall pick. You get a $40 million extension. You never even think about how those zeros stacked up over the years. And you don't realize that 30 years ago, 40 years ago, there were dudes who had part-time jobs in the summer to compensate for the lack of NBA check, and you made that money on their backs. And now those same people, you're telling them to shut up because they don't like the product on the floor. And that to me is a little bit messed up. I do miss the All-Star game mattering. I do miss people competing. I do miss rivalries. I miss the old NBA for sure.
Joy, wait,